Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, everywhere, depending on where and when you are joining Africa Online TV. Well, it is a beautiful sunny day outside my door. Maybe just a little bit of overcast right now, but it's warm, it's beautiful, it's spring, and we're so happy and delighted. That's what it's looking outside my door. What's it looking like outside of your door? Well, today is June 14th, and June, as you know, is the month where we are celebrating and honoring our men. And today we are going to talk about a topic that is very, very relevant. And last week we talked about just honoring our fathers and the impact that they have on our communities, in our homes, and in society as whole. But today we're going to talk about the Black man's burden. And I understand that there is a poem, and I want to share that poem with you. And that poem was written by a preacher, pastor. His name was H.T. Johnson, and it was written in 1904. And it was written as a response, actually a sarcastic response to a poem or a book, actually both of them, that is called The White Man's Burden. And back then it was dealing with the colonialism and the colonization of different countries. But I think the topic is very relevant to today. Even though we're not talking about colonizing anyone's country, we want to talk about the Black man's burden. And if you will indulge me for a few minutes, I want to share the poem with you. But before we do that, let me introduce you to the co-host, to my co-host today, and the CEO of Africa Online Media Corporation, Her Royal Highness, Reverend Dr. Pam.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Ambassador Lisa Pax, my beautiful sister who lights up every room. Loved your background. When I was in the University of Houston in the 80s, in our English literature class, we did a book called The White Man's Burden. I didn't even know there was a poem like that. And when the topic of Black Man's Burden just came to my mind, I didn't even know there was a Black Man's Burden
Mhm.
poem, or I didn't look up anything. You know me, I don't. So I'm so excited about that, and I would love to hear that poem. On behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I want to appreciate you, my beautiful sister. I'm so glad you're coming to Ghana with us, and we want to thank our main anchor who is on the road. He's not able to join because he's on the road right now. Niasan, we miss you, and we miss your editorial. I want to thank
Yes.
our viewers, those who are going to watch on YouTube and Facebook later. Thank you. This month, we are dedicating it to our men. We are giving them equal attention like we did for the women in March. So, Ambassador Lisa, take it away. And I
Thank
apologize for not being able to show my face.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pam. So, I do want to share the poem with you, but before I do that, kind of put things in context. I want to share "The White Man's Burden," which is a poem. A poem was written. Excuse me, I don't know where my voice went to all of a sudden. Was written in 1899, and it was a poem about the U.S. and the Philippine Islands, and it goes. Take up the white man's burden. Send forth the best ye breed. Go bind your sons to exile to serve your captives' needs. To wait in heavy harness on flirted folks and while. Do your new caught sullen people half devil and half child. Take up the white man's burden in patience to abide, to veil the threat of terror and check the show of pride by open speech and simple and 100 times more plain, to seek another's profit and work another's gain. Take up the white man's burden, the salvage war of peace. Fill full the mouth of famine and bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest, the end for others sought, watch sloth and heathen's folly bring all your hopes to naught. Take up the white man's burden, no tawdry rule of kings, but toil of serf and sweeper, the tale of common things. The ports ye shall not enter, the roads ye shall not tread. Go make them with your living, and mark them with your dead. Take up the white man's burden and reap his old rewards, the blame of those yet better, the hate of those ye guard, the cry of hosts ye humor, ah, slowly towards the light. Why brought ye us from bondage, our loved Egyptian night? Take up the white man's burden. Ye dare not stoop to less, nor call too loud on freedom to cloak your weariness. By all ye cry or whisper, by all ye leave or do, the silent, sullen people shall weigh your gods and you. Take up the white man's burden, have done with childish days, the lightly proffered laurels, the easy, ungrudged praise. Come now to search your manhood through all the thankless years, cold edged with dear thought and dear brought wisdom, the judgment of your peers. Now, again, this poem was written in the 1899s, and it was written based on a conversation that the US, or let me just say the European countries, were having with the US about colonizing the Philippine Islands. You know, the colonies and the countries in Europe had already gone over and taken control of most of the countries in Africa. They felt that they needed to, that the white man was more superior, and it was their duty and their job and their obligation to, quote unquote, civilize the non-white race. But they went into countries where civilizations were already in existence, Reverend Pam, long before Europe was even a thought. You
That's
know, we
right.
had kings and kingdoms in Africa, in Ghana,
And
in Nigeria,
University
you
of
know, all over
Alexandria.
I'm sorry?
And universities, the University
Yes.
of Alexandria.
Yes, the University of Alexandria, I believe, is the oldest university on the continent. So we were already civilized. We were already speaking our own language. We were already creating medicines. We were already doing all these things. We already had armies and weapons long before the Europeans and the white missionaries came to the continent of Africa. So because we didn't speak their language and we didn't do it their way, they felt that we needed to be colonized and civilized. How arrogant, how arrogant their thought process was and still is.
Mhm.
So the Europeans began to have a conversation with the United States and told them that they needed to go and colonize and capture the Philippine Islands. And they needed to go and capture other countries that had not been dominated and colonized by the white man. So the preacher, H.T. Johnson, wrote this poem in response to the white man's burden. And in 1904, he said, pile on the black man's burden. 'Tis nearest at our door. Why heed long bleeding Cuba or dark Hawaiian shores? Halt, ye your fearless armies, which menace feeble people, who fight with clubs and arrows and broke your rifle smoke. Pile on the black man's burden, his wail with laughter drown. You've sealed the red man's problem and now deal with the brown. In vain you seek to end it with bullets, blood, or death. Better by far defend it with honor's holy breath. Pile on the black man's burden. His back is broad through sore, though sore, what through the weight oppress him, he borne the like before. Your Jim Crow laws and customs and fiendish midnight deeds, through winked at by the nations, will still someday trouble breed. Pile on the black man's burden, at length twills heaven's pierce. Then on you or your children will rain God's judgment fears. Your battleships and armies may weaken one's appeal, but God Almighty's justice they'll not disturb at all. This was his response in response to the white man's burden. Basically, he was saying the black man already had enough to deal with. Why are you trying to go and dominate another country when you have not yet gotten a hold of your own situation here in America? We have been stolen from our home in Africa. We've been piled in ships and we've sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, and we were dropped in the Philippines and the Caribbeans, and we were dropped in Virginia and other cities down south. And
Also
here
drop
we
in the sea like extra weight. Drop
and yes, we were dropped in the
horrible.
seas, and some people who escaped refused to become slaves, threw themselves overboard in the sea, rather to die at their own hands than to die at the hands of being a slave. For somebody who thought that we were not civilized, stripped us of our name, stripped us of our identity, our royalty that we were already walking
Dignity.
in, and to bring us here to America to build America. Our current president thinks that he can make America great again, but you cannot make America great without the black man's burden. I really thought this was interesting, the topic chosen, Reverend Pam, and I did not know that there was a book, The White Man's Bird. And as I was searching for the black
It was
man's,
one of our required texts.
Mhm.
Let me check. When our in the 80s. Let me check.
So while she's checking that, we're still talking about the black man's burden. And while they were, as I said, we were taken, and they were saying that we should, the black man's burden is their backs are strong and sore, and why pile on? Let's seal the red man's. And when Christopher Columbus founded, quote unquote, founded America, he found the red man here. The American Indian was already here, and they were as civilized as the Europeans, had their own language. They were doing their own thing, but we came here, excuse me, they came here and they took over. Every day I pray and stand in the gap for repentance for the things that America has done. But I digress.
Yeah,
So while
that book is there, is everywhere. We're not here to promote it, you know. It was written by some William Easterly, a former World Bank economics, you know.
oh,
This book is a blistering critique of Western foreign aid programs. Argues that top-down multi-billion-dollar global aid plans suffer from utopian hubris and largely fail. You know, but anyway, the book is there. But
oh,
that it was a
interesting.
book that it was required, even Walmart has it, you know, Amazon has. So it was required. It was a required reading in that class.
Okay. So The White Man's Burden was written, as I said, in 1899, and it was written by Rudyard Kipling. And we do know that there is a Kipling Society. And The White Man's Burden was a poem that urged the United States to take on the colonization responsibility of the Philippines after the Spanish American War. And while we did not go and take over the Philippines, we did colonize some other islands, and we now have that as part of our, when I
Puerto
say our,
Rico
we now have that
and
part
Virgin
of the
Islands.
American uh, empire, if for lack of a better word. So what is the black man's burden today? That was in our early 19th century, early, yeah, late early 19th century. But what is the black man's burden today?
You know, you just took that right out of my mouth when you were saying, so we are in sync here. You know, the black man has a lot of burdens.
Yes.
Um, you know, I'm sure you've heard walking white black, driving white black, being pulled
Yes.
or stopped because of the color of your skin. Those are all parts of the black man's burden. Even at home, a lot of the times, well, no, some of the times our men can't even find peace at home. So being at home is even a burden because either the spouse or the children, they don't recognize his value. And that's because the system was designed to undermine the black man.
Yes, it was. And still
Black
is.
man, a strong black man is the biggest threat to the white man. So the black man, I don't want to say they are an endangered species because that will be feeding into what the enemy wants to promote. But it's tough being a black man, whether a young man or grown man, it's tough, especially in today's world. And you would think things will be getting better. They've gotten better from the days of slavery, but not where we are supposed to be because some of the systems have just changed. Some of the things that were targeted, even that were targeted toward the black men have changed. And I don't want to use specific examples because we don't get into politics or religion in this show, but the burden is still there.
Yes.
And we really need to pray for our black men. We need to encourage them. We need to lift them up. We need to support them. Because just unlike the white man that goes about his business, is not worrying about, oh, would I be stopped? Would I get back home? Those are things that can you imagine living with that fear every day?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now there are even situations where the enemy will come and knock at your door while you're at home.
Yes.
We saw
Mm-hmm.
what happened to Dr. Gates of Harvard. He was arrested outside his own house.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the cops didn't know who he was, but they don't need to know who you are, and that's why it's important for Black people to be united because the bottom line is that when people see us, they see a Black person. Ambassador Lisa, when you come to Ghana, nobody will know you are not from there until you open your mouth and start
Until I
speaking.
open exactly until I open my mouth. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the burden is still there. Even
Yes.
securing jobs, securing employment, even when you are rich, you are looking for a home. Some people will not even sell you a home in a certain neighborhood because of the color of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So there are black men that would like to provide certain things for their families, but they can't. Their money cannot help them.
No,
The
it
money, the
cannot.
color of money is green, but their skin color is black.
It is unfortunate. Um, yes, as I've raised three black sons to manhood, and it was always not so much a fear, but a concern, a prayer, a concern actually, because they were musicians, and my boys are over 6 feet tall, so that's a menacing uh, sight right there, 6'3" and 6'5",
Mhm.
and one is carrying his keyboard case. Even though it was a full size keyboard, it could be thought to house a weapon.
Weapon.
So, so he was always dragging his keyboard, going from church to church. I was always very concerned about him out there, and always wanted him to come home before it got dark. I did not want him out there dragging his keyboard. The other one, always with his drumsticks or traveling with his portable drum set. And he's a journalist, so he was always out there in the middle of the struggle, whatever was going on, riot wise. He was always out there in the middle, and I was always praying, God, bring my sons home, bring them home. Don't let them be caught up out there. And as you said,
Mhm.
caught walking while black, driving while black, any of those things
Mhm.
while black. But God has been gracious because we never had not one incident, not one. My youngest son, the journalist, was very friendly with the police commissioner, our sheriff. And as a matter of fact, everywhere I go, people say, "Oh, you're Flood's mom." I'm either Flood's mom because my son calls her Flood the drummer. I'm either Flood's mom or I'm the Bishop's mom. I have no identity anymore. I'm just Bishop's mom or Flood's mom.
Yeah.
So they made their own roads, they made their own impacts and their own contacts, so that the burden of being black was never really a part of their life. But when I think about the burden of our black men, I think about Black Wall Street and how there were the burning of Black Wall Street there in I want to say 19.
That's
It
in
was early
Oklahoma, right?
1900. I think, huh?
That was in Oklahoma, right?
Yes, yes, around yeah, around 1921, I believe it was, where a white mob. They were deputized by, I guess, the sheriff, and they destroyed Black Wall Street, where we had our own homes, we had our own banks, we had our own markets. They wanted us segregated. They didn't want us to be a part of what they had. We weren't allowed to drink the water from the water fountains. We weren't allowed to sit at the counter at the same restaurant. So we developed our own. We had our own small little pocket that was all Black, and they destroyed it. So if you want us not to be a part of what you have when we get our own, why destroy it? Because you just want to keep us
Okay. Yeah, because they want to keep you down. They want to
yeah, you
control,
want to keep us under.
manipulate, and the Bible calls it witchcraft. It was burned down on June 1st, 1921.
June 1st. Yes.
They put it in the
So
chat box.
so there is still, I was just looking, oh God, I can't think of the name of it. It wasn't even 2 weeks ago. There is a beach down in, I almost want to say South Carolina. I don't want to start quoting, but because Blacks were not allowed to go to the beach where the white folks were, they brought a piece of land, including the beach area. Blacks did, and they,
Is that
oh,
in California, in Los
no, no,
Angeles?
no, this is over here on the East Coast down south. Let me see if I can
Okay,
find
I
it.
think that there was another story of somebody that when they just got the land back. I think it was last year.
Uh-huh. No, well, this is still owned. It's a few blocks, the beach, restaurants, all these things, and developers have been going after them, trying to get the little piece of land. They own everything else around except a small piece of the beach. And they have been harassing the people. Amelia Island, let me see if that down. Is that, now that's in Florida. I wasn't even aware about that one in Florida. This one is, I want to say North Carolina. Because I was thinking it's not so far I can go. It's near, I believe it's near Virginia Beach. So it's somewhere down there. But the developers are trying to take that small little piece of island, that a piece of land that Blacks own, because we weren't allowed to have anything of our, we weren't allowed to go where white people were. So we got our own, and now they're trying to still take that. So um, the Black man's burden, driving while Black, walking while Black, going to the store while Black, having a phone in your hand that they think is a weapon by Black, is everyone's burden. But the thing that I looked up first, I wanted to look up the Black males and what the percentage is in the USA. And it says that we are 7 to 7.5% of the total US population. The Black male is 7% of 100% of the population in America.
Little
That was,
percentage.
dude,
But,
that's, huh?
but they make most of the population. What's the population in prison? The percentage.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that number is staggering high.
Yeah. As compared to the minute percentage of the population, they have the highest percentage
Yes.
in
It's up in the
prison.
double digits.
Oh, yeah.
But to be so terrified of, well, it says, according to these statistics here, and I don't know if this, it says nationally, Black men are incarcerated at a rate of roughly 2,270 per every 100,000. That means that at any given time, slightly over 2% of all Black adult males in the US are currently serving time. I don't think that is very accurate. I think the number is much higher than
Yeah,
2%.
but if you look at the population, let's look at the population of the Black men in prison, the percentage. Yeah, what
Okay.
I'm gonna look for it now. What
I have it
percentage?
here. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the Black population is 30. I knew it was high, 35.5%. That's about almost, uh, let's say 59,000 Black
Yeah.
males. The Native American is only 3.1% with a little more than 4,500 persons. The white is 56.8%. But anyway, 87, little more than 87,000 white men are in
Yeah,
the
but let's
federal.
go with the percentage, not even the number.
Well, the
Oh,
percentage would
oh,
be 56. They're saying that whites, according to the statistics from the Federal Bureau of Prisons, they're saying that statistics is for white man is more
but
than
there
the
are more
black
white
man.
men in America. That's why. It says here overall, black Americans are in prison at roughly 5 to 6 times the rate of white Americans,
Yes,
nationwide. The reason why there are more in numbers of the white people is because there are more white people in this country. But when we go by the percentage,
that's
if we
true.
look at, okay, like this one says black Americans make up approximately 13% of the US population. This is almost double, but account for 32 to 37% of the total incarcerated population. That is ridiculous. Meanwhile, white men make up 56 to 64% of the general population, but they only account of 30% of the incarcerated population. Look at the difference.
Hmm.
But that's the reality.
Yes, it is. Yes, yes. So I did look at the statistics also because one of the main burdens of the black man is employment. Oh, excuse
Yes.
me. That is one of our main burdens for our black men because if they can't get a job, then they can't provide for their family. And when they can't provide for their family, their ego is bruised, their standing with their family is bruised. And I say it so often the way society has uh, things set up now. If a male and a female go for a job, and equally as qualified. Sometimes the man is more qualified. The woman will get that job just so that the man can stay down. And sisters, let me just remind you, it is important that you understand this so that when your man comes home and say he can't find a job, you don't go railing and nagging about I got to do all the work. You have to understand how the system is designed to keep him down and be
Oh,
that
yeah.
encouragement. That should probably be my last thought, but I like to remind them constantly that it's not their fault that they can't find a job, the majority of them. It's always the system. So nationwide, approximately 67.8% of black men aged between 20 and over participate in the US labor force. And out of that population, the employment to population ratio sits at 63.5, meaning that the unemployment rate for black men is 7.3%.
But so Lisa, another thing is our men to start thinking about being self-employed, especially with artificial intelligence right now. You know, there are a lot of jobs that you can create for yourself once you learn the artificial intelligence. It's like what Tyler Perry did. He stopped asking for a seat at the table.
Yes.
He built his own table. He
He
built
built
his
his own
own,
table.
and now Hollywood is coming for him. So my point is we should stop wanting to belong or asking for access. We should create our own table so that when the menu is put in front of us, we know exactly what is on that menu because we developed it.
Exactly. So artificial intelligence does leave that opportunity for creating your own business, which is what I'm seeing a lot of that's happening also in the aviation community now with drones. We have 16-year-olds who are starting their own business with their drones, working for real estate agencies and parties, doing weddings and events. But you still have to go to school and get that license. You got to study and get that license. But once you do, it's not a hard test to take. But once you do, now you can create your own business, your own work hours, and you're doing something that you love. Hopefully, you're loving what you do. So like you said, we no longer have to go and ask for a seat at the table. We can create our own tables. But understand that that doesn't happen overnight. It requires equally as hard work. Tyler Perry did not build his mansion and his studio and his name overnight. He was homeless for quite some
No,
time. He was
but
living
he
in
had
a
a
car.
vision. He had a vision, and the Lord made provision. He had a vision, and he ran with it.
So for those of you who do have a vision, like I said, don't think it's going to drop in your lap automatically. It's going to take hard work, but it can be done. God did not give you the vision without provision, but
Another
that
thing, Ambassador
provision.
Lisa, sorry to cut you. You can continue, but the other thing I just wanted to say this before I forget. AI can also guide you into which businesses can be lucrative. You can all you have to do is ask AI. I'm a black man, I live in this city or
Mm,
whatever. I'm thinking about starting my own business. I've been trying to look for work. I can't find it. What do you suggest? And you will be shocked what AI. As a matter of fact, do you mind if I share my screen?
sure.
That I want to show you what I'm talking about. So things may not take as long as it took Therapy. I'm just saying let's use the technology that we have. You see what I'm saying? And hold on a second. Let me go to ask. I'm gonna ask Gemini. Hold on. All right, hold on here. I Gemini is not one of the ones that I use a lot, but I wanna ask it because I don't want to use my okay. Here I am a black man. You are in Philadelphia, right?
I'm in Philadelphia, yes.
Philadelphia, can't find a job, but I am educated and hard working. My degree is, Ambassador, I select something.
Uh,
Degree is in,
uh, say mathematics.
they'll say teacher. What about hospitality?
Okay, let's say hospitality. I like that one, hospitality.
Yeah, because there are not many. Well, we can do mathematics to hospitality. What kind of business can I set up in 2026 that will thrive? Let's hear what AI comes up with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see this? Launch a specialized hospitality consultancy or high margin boutique catering service. Focus on private events as Philadelphia experiences an unprecedented tourism and major event boom. Leverage your degree to manage operations, optimize margins, and capitalize on heavy influx of visitors and corporate. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it say, top business ideas for you. With a hospitality degree and a strong work ethic, the following ventures offer high demand and align directly with your experience. Boutique catering and private chef services. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Event staffing and hospitality consulting,
Yes.
corporate and cultural pop-up experience, local resources. It's giving you all this. So I'm just saying
Okay.
with AI now, there is okay. Let me put the same question to AI and use mathematics, okay?
Okay.
Okay, then with same question, assume I have a BS degree in mathematics. Okay, so let's see what it will do now. So we have to use these tools. It said here, launch an AI-driven data analytics consultancy or a predictive supply chain optimization firm in Philadelphia. So now you are doing it. They can do this at home. AI, they don't even need to go get a overhead. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Capitalizing on the massive corporate demand for data modeling, quantitative, it gives you all this. See?
Mm-hmm.
Even with so we're just encouraging our men that use artificial intelligence. You don't even have to have a degree in it or certification. Just ask, so long as you can type English. But
Right.
more importantly, you need to learn how to prompt. So specify. what you want. Like you see, I put here, I'm a black man in Philadelphia. I can put all that there. AI will give you, you know, give you a response.
Okay, wonderful. We see our chief,
Dr. Ogoji is here.
Dr. Agoji is here. We so welcome you. Glad to see you.
Dr. Ogoji just missed my example in
Yes.
AI. Dr. Ogoji, you're muted.
Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can hear
Yes.
you.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing
We
wonderful.
are
And
fine.
you?
Neilson is on the road.
Okay.
So
Just
go ahead.
just three of us, eh?
Just
Yeah,
the
we are
three of
talking
us.
about the black man's burden. Yeah, laughing. It's good to have a black man here. So let's hear from you.
Yes.
What are we talking? We're talking about. Let's see now. Let's see what's the topic for today again.
The black man's
The
burden.
black man's burden.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one. Where do I start?
Start from the beginning.
Black man burden. Well, how I would say, um, 50 years ago, I'm sure in the US, women stay at home and men work and take care of their family. Things have changed over the time. That now in this society, it's almost people expect some type of combined responsibility to take care of their family. What the wife will call, what the American call 50-50. But in the black world, we're still at the point where the man is made to do everything. Not where the woman expect to just be there and take care of the children. I'm not saying taking care of the children is not enough work, but basically, a young man grows up in Africa. He says, "I got to grow up and be a man. I have to go to school. I'm going to learn a job. I got to find a job and I'm going to make money, start a life, and then bring a woman to live with me." And the black man, generally, I mean, in Nigeria specifically, and even Cameroon, they expect that when I get married tomorrow, I will provide housing, provide transportation, provide food, provide shelter, provide everything from my wife and my children. And most women expect to be mother of the house. That even I'm not saying I say most African women, even when they go to work and make all sort of money, that money is theirs and the husband own is ours. So if you're a black man and your wife is making money more than you, um, um, two things happens. One, the woman inferiority complex may come in. Sometimes the man's fault. Say, hey, instead of respecting the woman and treating her very well to thank her for her service, he will feel like he has no say. On the other hand, the woman may also feel like, if I can provide for myself, I don't need a man, but and vice versa. Forgetting that this is companionship where the right hand take care of the the left hand take care of the right hand. So in that situation, a man is always struggling.
Yes.
Always struggling. The man will be the one to when the sister is fighting with somebody, you take the fight and make the fight personally. When they go to school and the girlfriend get in trouble, you take a fight personally. They'll be driving a car, the wife will be driving, and they have problem with another man, another driver. Instead of her dealing with the issue, you take a phone and call, let me call my husband. The guy will wait and come and fight for her. And then financially, the man may have his last, the woman may have uh, $10,000 sitting under the pillow, and the man has only $500, and they want to buy something for $400. The man will bring all the money. So this burden for African men is real. That they continue struggling and struggling and struggling with no break. Unless you're lucky, you meet a woman that understands and say, hey, and support you. I mean, women do support, don't get me wrong, but that really support you. I say, this time, don't worry, let me pay for the school fees now if she can afford it. Let me take this now if I can afford it. Or know when the man is struggling to be able to meet and help him out. On the other hand, if you get up and live that type of lifestyle, you enjoy your family and do those things. If things go sour, you'll be surprised how things change. Your life becomes a misery. And if you don't seek help to get things taken care of, you develop chronic condition like hypertension and all those stress and anxiety, depression that lead to certain things. So that's why the popular saying in Lagos or in that there are so many landladies but no landlords. So men build all these things and die in their 50s. And the women became landladies.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
even when a man is sick, he doesn't go to the hospital. But if the child is sick, you take a kid to the hospital to make sure the kid is treated. The wife complains, take her to make sure your wife is treated. So the black man's body is real.
Take
This
care of themselves.
they don't self-care, they lack the self-care. They think
Mm-hmm.
about family. And I have a popular saying which I told my children just yesterday. I like saying that it's me number one, me
Mm-hmm.
number two, me number
Mm-hmm.
three, me
That's
number
true.
four, me
Mm-hmm.
number five, before you guys. What
Good.
that means, I have to be comfortable and healthy to be a good father and a
That's
good
true.
husband.
That's right.
So if that principle can change among us, that means no matter how you struggle to take care of your family, you have to create that time for self-care.
You can't give what you don't have, you
Yeah.
know?
It will surprise you. I mean, I said already, it surprise you how many of our African brothers and sisters here in diaspora that don't go on vacation. They work 7 days a week. Their
That's
Mm-hmm.
vacation
true.
is their
Mm-hmm.
vacation is you go to Africa and stay in the village, and there's no rest. There, one meeting after the other, sharing money. Smart ones who know what they're doing. Like when I go to Nigeria, 2 or 3 if I come back, I actually go check in somewhere and just chill. Nobody stop me. I just sleep in and wake up and sleep in and wake up. Even when I'm at home, I try to sleep in. You
Good.
can't, you can't knock my door by 7, you won't see me. I sleep into 10 o'clock.
Because I do that in Bali, and I never used to like that. We come, people are coming early, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to greet you. I'm trying to sleep, and you are trying to greet me. You're waking me up from sleep.
They know. You come to my house in the morning, you won't see me. If there's no appointment, you won't see me. You know?
Yeah.
So we try to, those smart ones try to, like when I go to Nigeria personally, I hold certain meetings. I hold meetings for my kingsmen, the youth. So in that way, everybody has a time to come and they all come as a group. I see them
Okay.
and they go.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike you come and see me, if you have individual issue, God bless you. If you see me, fine. You don't see me, it doesn't matter. I have to rest. So going back to the topic, the black man body is real. We have to learn to tell our brothers to learn to do also self-care. Why providing for for your family is a key. Also pleading with your sisters, those who have the wherewith, please support your men. You know, don't squeeze him to the last money while you have something packed up somewhere. You know when he's struggling. And men to learn know when to ask because sometimes we don't ask. Uh, you cannot man everything. If you are stressed, please speak up. Ask for help. At the same time, people are sometimes men don't want to empower their women because they feel that if the woman become too powerful, they lose control.
Exactly.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
mistake. Empower your wife, empower your spouse. If she becomes successful, you are successful together.
That's right.
If life happen, God forbid, you are the one carrying the whole family, and then something happen, life happens, then you are finished. So try to empower the women, especially when the kids are of age. I mean, I still prefer the women to be home when the kids are still young. Once they start going to school, try to empower your women to go out and do something that can support you. Because good women, I mean, I like saying this, when I'm growing up, my mom had a restaurant. I mean, my father never have to worry about food of food in the house. That's huge. That as a man, you don't have to give money for food and food and food. The woman provide all the food. Come on, mom had a restaurant. That's huge.
Mhm.
On the other side, the man provide the shelter, the school fees, and everything. Of course, my dad is disciplinarian those days. He will give you what he thinks is enough money for you to be enough for school. If you feel that if you give too much money, you'll be spoiled. So he might give you $1,000 to go to school, and then you say it's not enough. Start crying. Mom can give you $50 a year. That $50 mom give you, mom is the best. So we appreciate those. So moms have a vital role to play to come to help their men. Because I mean, if my dad give me more than feels enough, I'll be so mad and angry. But if my mom give me that freedom to support me, the anger from that disappear whether I like it or not,
Mhm.
and vice versa. So his life is companionship, complementary. We should learn to support one another, support our spouses, and the African men should not die in silence. Please ask
Amen.
for help. You cannot carry the whole world in your head. Ask for help, ask for help, ask for help.
Thank you, Dr. Goji. I like that that analogy that you shared. How our black men, especially on the continent, even on the continent, need self-care. That will relieve some of the burden. But as you were talking, I was thinking about how on the continent, college and university comes immediately after secondary school. You have so many educated, college trained, educated people, but then there are no jobs. So that becomes an additional burden. As he was saying, you're expected to grow up, go to school, get your education, get a house, get a wife, and now start a family. But if you're educated and you can't get that job, how do you get the wife? How do you get the home? That now becomes an additional burden. So it's like a catch 22. I will get educated, but I can't get a job. That's a burden. Now I got an education and I got a wife, but then I can't continue the lifestyle that is expected. So
I'm
these are additional
surprised. I'm
burdens.
surprised you did not look at the time for the anthem.
Oh, I was engaged in what Dr. Goji's saying. So
I know.
it is after 5, and we usually at the top of the hour have our anthem and we have our announcement. So we're going to take this time to go on over, excuse me, to get ready for our anthem. And then we will come back with our announcements and our updates, and we will see about continuing this conversation. So,
But I mean, you were so mesmerizing. Ambassador Lisa forgot her favorite part of the show.
but we're just slightly over, just 5 minutes over. So, grab a drink of water if you need to. Go check on your dinner if you got it in the oven. I don't. I've got to go out and find something uh, for dinner. But be back in a couple minutes as we are sharing our anthem.
You want me to make the announcement while you're trying to bring up the anthem?
No, I have the anthem right here.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Oh, Africa. Oh no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, Let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey, Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone, if we believe. Prosperity for Africans, if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa.
So
No lies.
let's
Africans own Africa. That is our anthem, written by our very own CEO, Reverend Dr. Pam. We own full rights to it. It belongs to us, and we are so excited to have that as our anthem and our constant reminder. Amen.
thank you. So next Sunday is Father's Day. So Dr. Ogoji, I know your children and wife are going to spoil you. We're going to be appreciating our fathers. We're going to be talking about the role of the fathers, and what it means to be a father, because not everybody who donates a sperm and creates a human being is a father. And also, some people there's a difference between being a dad and a father. So we're going to be addressing all those things, Ambassador Lisa and Dr. Ogoji. Back to
Okay.
you, Ambassador Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Africa Online has an ongoing fundraiser. It is called Operation Borehole 55. It is our desire to put a borehole in every country on the continent of Africa where there is a government approved clinic that has no facility for clean running water, that has no facility for running water, let alone clean or otherwise. And it's just, it is beyond imagination. You can't imagine. Can you imagine just going into your hospital and getting on a table that other people have already been on and has not been cleaned, sanitized? We don't even want to see dust in the room before we're calling for maintenance to come and clean the room. But our clinics on the continent don't have clean running water. If your children are not going to that river, walking 3 to 4 miles to get water from a dirty river, then you will have no water. And we want to do something about that. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to be able to make those changes on the continent. Sierra Leone, there's a clinic in Sierra Leone that is enjoying clean running water, solar power. They have electricity and lights in the waiting room and in the delivery room because of our efforts. And we want to do the same thing for the other 54 countries. So our next country is Kenya and Cameroon. Again, we can't do this without you. So please consider making a donation. We'll accept it no matter how large or small it is. All donations go towards the borehole project. There is no administrative fees coming out. We're not using your funds to go to Africa to spy out the land, for we already have competent boots on the ground who are already in these countries. We already have an engineer waiting, just waiting to start work. But we need your dollars, your rands, your pounds, your shillings, your pulas. We need it all to be able to do the project that we want. Would you consider please helping us? Consider how much water you waste when you just brush your teeth and you're letting that water run down the drain as you brush your teeth. Consider making a donation towards Africa's online Operation Borehole 55. You can send that donation to Africa's Brain Bank. That's AFRICAS brainbank.org, africasbrainbank.org. Go to that website, you will see the donate button. Go there, make a donation, specify Operation Borehole 55, and we'll make sure those funds get put into the right coffers and we can begin to see these boreholes. We're not going to stop until all 55 countries on the continent have a borehole from Operation Borehole 55, Africa's Brain Bank. Thank you. Let's get back to the conversation. Oh, we do have one other announcement. We are so close. We are getting so close to
Months
our
away.
7th annual, say again,
2 months.
2 months away from our 7th annual summit and gala, our Africa's Brain Bank Summit and Gala that will be hosted in the beautiful country of Ghana. 6 days of power-packed activities, summits, conversations, red carpet, gala, and dinner. Don't delay. Visit africasbrainbank.org. See the event clip, the event tab. Go there and you will see the 7th annual gala and summit. And you can see the cost. You can see what events you want to participate in if you can't participate in all 6 days. Come on, be a part of history along with us. We're going to Ghana and we don't want to leave without you. Again, africasbrainbank.org. Go to the event tab, go to the 7th annual gala and get your tickets. Pay for your ticket, get your airline, get it now while it's not on sale, but while it's cheaper than waiting to the last minute to decide, oh, I will go. Let's go. Let's go and let's go. Reverend Pam.
And something magical happened today. We are going to have one more activity. So let me get the information first. I'll update the link, but it's going to take the event to another level. So that was just confirmed today. Something I'd asked someone last year that I wanted her to do, and she just committee and say, God is really amazing. So you'll be excited about it. So let me just leave it at that. I'm glad Dr. Ogoji is on the panel and you will be the ambassador, Lisa. You need to find time to call me. We need to go through what you'll be doing in Ghana because you are coming as a volunteer also, not just as an ambassador.
Oh, okay. We will find time to talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to hand over to you and Dr. Ogoji and mute for a minute.
Okay, we are back. Still talking about the black man's burden. We have a few more minutes left in the show. So we talked about what the burden was. We talked about one of the main burdens is unemployment. We talked about one of the other main burdens is the inmate population of our black men who are already in prison. But we didn't talk a lot about the burden in Africa on the continent. And Dr. Goji, with you being a citizen and a product of both Nigeria and Cameroon, not really sure how that works, but I know you're Nigerian, and I believe you were born in Cameroon and
He was
raised in
born
Cameroon.
and raised in Cameroon. We educated him in Cameroon and then he took all those brains to Nigeria. He is a Cameroonian first before a Nigerian.
I'm a Cameroonian, I'm a Nigerian, I'm Irish, I'm American.
Wow, that 4 nationalities. Okay. So then you are the perfect person to talk about the black man's burden from an African standpoint, from the continent's standpoint, rather. I touched on it briefly about the lack of employment opportunities that seems to be nationwide or worldwide. But what are some of the other burdens that our black men are dealing with on the continent as well?
Employment, you rarely say employment, employment in Africa is not as robust as here. To get a good job in Africa, as in Nigeria specifically, sometimes it's depends on who you know.
Mm.
And then the education system, people tell us that you go to school, you do where you come out. I'm upfront here, unless you're going to go study a professional course where you come back and be self-employed. It's difficult to get a job, get a good paying job after colleges because the jobs are not there.
Right.
Number two, the education system designed by the white man, designed to keep us employed. It's not designed for us to actually come out and become employers or self-employed. They're designed to come out so you can get a job and then be answerable to your boss, to your master, till you die. So those things are part of it. And then, of course, it will surprise you that I think the trend is the same even in this part of the world. When I was in medical school, we were about 75, maybe 65% males and 35% females. And that was talking about 26 years ago when I graduated from medical school. Today, I've gone to my medical school. I've gone to some medical school in Nigeria. It's now maybe 80% girls and 20% males.
Wow.
Because the males just have to go get a job and do things and make it. Because trust me, the black man burden in Africa is multifold. A young man will get up, meet a young girl in school, they will go to school together, they will plan to their life together, then finish their school, graduate. I say graduate, and especially those who study nursing and medicine. The guy is still struggling to make ends meet, and then one young man will fly away from the US or from London or from Australia, go to a wedding and see your girlfriend and say, hey, I like this girl, I want to marry you. The girl say, well, you know what? This guy is already in America, you take me there, my life will be better. All those years of hard work relationship will just be pushed by the side and then you dumped and you're gone. And then the man starts his life again. So that's why the men now try to work hard to financially stable and then go and look for somebody, which is a mistake, somebody that they are financially higher than them to get some loyalty. But all those things only last as long as you can keep those things going.
Right.
Yeah. So the amount of poverty and responsibility in Africa has made certain things that are norm, that's supposed to be norm, become abnormal.
Right.
I mean, so the black man, you can't find a wife, you can't find a good job, you can't keep a girlfriend, you can have a girlfriend for 20 years and plan to marry, and one man as old as your father who has money than you come. I mean, people want comfort. So when society is so bad that where you cannot really work hard and get what you want, yeah, I cannot approach a 20-year-old girl. I want to marry her here, and she knows that what am I going to give her? You 50.
Right.
I mean, there are few exceptions, don't get me wrong. Playboy married a 23-year-old girl. That's by the way. But you 50, I'm 21 girl, but go away. Let me find my age mate and do my life. So
Hmm.
because no she can get a work. So basically, black man body is so much
Yes.
relationship, job, employment. You really have to be on top of your game for you to really have a say.
Dr. Goldie, I think another one that would be up there as well would be housing. Housing, because let's say you go to school and you live somewhere like let's say Warri in Delta State, or let's say Kakamega in Kenya, but there are no jobs in these little towns. So now you've got to move and go to Abuja or Lagos, or you've got to go to Nairobi. You've got to pick up and leave your family and go to Nairobi to try and find a job, and everybody's migrating there, so the jobs are no longer plentiful. And you know what else I found? I found this very interesting. I had a lot of accountants coming to me for counseling because they were depressed and sad about the jobs they were doing. But this is what their testing scores, I'm still trying to fit, this is what they're scoring, their test scores said that they should study. So is it that the government dictates what you study based on your the scores on your test, and then they're not happy in their jobs?
Not necessarily, no. Just like the MCAT for medicine here. For you
Okay.
to enter medicine, you have to have a very high MCAT score. In Nigeria, we do what they call JAM. JAM is a joint admission matriculation board exam.
Okay.
So for you to enter the university in Nigeria, you have to do JAM. The maximum JAM is JAM based. I think it's based on 4 subjects. If I remember, English, math, and maybe two other subjects. Maximum score for JAM is 400. For you to study medicine, you have to study have at least 300 and above.
Okay.
Meanwhile, if you get 210, you can't get into medical school. You can
Okay.
end up in political science, other classes. And Africa being the way it is if I am in when I'm in Nigeria, if I couldn't study medicine in Nigeria, I'm better off going to go learn a trade. Just like here, instead of you to, unless you want to be a professor in America, instead of you to go to, unless you're going to Harvard or Princeton to go study, let's say, for instance, um, English language. You study English in Harvard and Princeton, you have the connection to go to places. You study English in University of Washington, Eastern State University, you get an English degree, you end up with a minimum wage job, unless you want to study to PhD and masters, master and PhD, and become a professor.
Okay. Hmm.
So why should I go to Eastern State University and go and study English and get a loan of $200,000 or maybe $100,000 to end up working in McDonald's
Right.
or Safeway? I'd rather leave school, say bye to school, and go learn how to be a plumber. Plumbers make more money than me, a
Wow.
doctor.
And
So same thing,
everybody will need a plumber.
this still apply in Nigeria,
Numbers
If
make a lot of money. Ambassador Lisa, we have just 4 minutes. Let's take the round.
Oh wow! Wow. We started out. I didn't think this was going to be a conversation that was going to last this long. I thought it was just going to be me. I was like, I don't have any brothers to talk about the black man's burden. And before you came on, Dr. Goji, I had looked up the black man's burden. It's a poem. And I shared that, and I looked up the white man's burden because the black man's burden was written in response to the white man's burden. And then Reverend Pam shared that it was a book that she had to read while she was in the university. I didn't know it was a book, and she didn't know it was a poem. And this was the subject that she put. So we ended up it's so engrossed in this conversation, and I just forgot all about the anthem time, and I forgot that we are already here almost at 5:30. So this was a good topic, and I would love to broach this subject again when we have an opportunity to have some Black men in to get on and to talk about their version of what their burdens are, as opposed to just us having this conversation, especially as women, because we understand, we may have some knowledge of the Black man's burden, but we're not living it. And I'd like to hear some lived experience. But at this time, we are going to take the round of the table as our co-host, Professor Nearson, will be doing around this time. So I'm going to ask, and we're going to start with our Chief Medical Officer, Chief Dr. Agoji, your final thoughts on this subject on the Black man's burden.
Well, my final thought is that there are so many problems to solve in the world. So many. The problem has been there before you were born. They'll be there, you come and die and leave them behind. So solve what you can and leave the rest to the guy up there. Most importantly, self-care, self-care, self-care. Only you owe yourself how you feel, how you act to situations, how you act to circumstances. You have 3 children in going to college. They want tuition, they want school fees or tuition. You can't afford it, go take a loan. If you can't afford, they can't get a loan, they should go learn a trade. So give what you can and don't kill yourself trying to give what you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
The conclusion, whatever you have control, what you can put in your hand and control, please use that to the best ability to give your family the best, give your society the best, give your community the best. Since that you cannot control your hand, let it be and live your life.
Thank you. Words to live by. Our CEO, Her Royal Highness, Reverend Dr. Pam.
Yeah, Dr. Goji, I mean, you always say the right things. I just want to encourage our men. And Dr. Goji, before you came, I was telling Ambassador Lisa, our men should not just be waiting for somebody to give them a job. They should create their own jobs, create their own businesses. And I showed an example where you can actually ask AI, introduce yourself to AI, tell AI what your qualification is, where you are, whatever. I'm a Black man. I live in Philadelphia. I have this degree. I can't find a job. What kind of business can I open? And AI will do the work for you in seconds. AI will advise you what kind of businesses are lucrative in your area and how to go about it. And feel free to, and this is the free version of AI, so there are no excuses. So we want to appreciate our men. Next Sunday, we'll be talking about fathers, what it means to be a father, the difference between a father and a dad, the role of the fathers at home, in the community, in the society. And I want to encourage our sisters, let's support our brothers and our fathers and our men. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, my last words on the subject of the Black man's burden. Yes, we have burdens. Yes, they have burdens, but we as sisters can help undergird that burden. We can get up under there and pray and seek God's face. Again, remember what society is designed to do to our Black men and how it's designed to keep them down and keep them wounded and keep them not feeling as productive, not feeling like the kings that they are. We need to encourage our Black men. Smile. Don't be a nag when they come home. If you must nag, get in your prayer closet and tell God all about it. That's his son, remember. And maybe your husband, but that's God's son. So go tell his father on him. But when you come out of that prayer closet, be the woman that God has created you to be. Be the best wife that you can be, because the struggle for our Black men to just keep their head above water is real. And we don't want to be the reason that we pull them down and that we don't undergird them. Again, we are Africa Online, and we are here every Sunday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about a variety of topics that educate, encourage the Black man, the woman, the diaspora, and those of us on the continent. Look forward to seeing you. Oh, and join us on Facebook and or YouTube, especially on YouTube. Go over to YouTube to Africa Online or put in Operation Borehole 55 and you will find the videos from the different countries that have submitted uh, a request to have a borehole and see what is going on and how our children on the continent are going to get water for their homes, for their medical clinics. We need your help. We can't do it without you. Again, don't you want to be a part of seeing lives change? Don't you want to be a part of the foundation of something great? Come on and be a part. Make that donation. Again, I am your co-host, Ambassador Prophetess Lisa Parks. It has been my pleasure and my honor to serve you today. And on behalf of Africa Online, have a